I believe in me.
I believe in me.
I believe in you.
I believe in you.
Stand strong. You are powerful.
Stand strong. You are inspiring.
We are fighters. We are ambitious.
We are extraordinary. We are conquerors. Simply straight talk, our voices will be heard.
This is Simply Straight Talk. Tune in now, you don't want to miss out. Real conversation, plenty motivation. Keep you thinking and still entertaining. Yeah, I know that you'll enjoy the mottos free. Your voice is your choice. Hosted by Reggie B, but you already know. And you gotta check them out and how we roll. Hey, ain't nothing off the table. Give it to you straight. Changing your mindset, talking past mistakes. You ain't gotta wait, time to take off. This is Simply Straight Talk.
Hey everybody, what's going on? What's going on? Welcome to the Simply Straight Talk podcast. This is your man Reggie, and listen. All right, we got a bit of a serious topic to discuss today. Now, in discussing this topic, one thing I want to keep in mind that this is to educate. This is to hopefully stir up a little conversation to where we can all make better decisions, better choices about our actions. Now, okay, so here we go. I'm sure most of you have probably heard about the Chicago woman who allegedly ordered her 14-year-old son to fatally shoot a man during a restaurant altercation, okay? And we're going to read some of the information that came off WTTW News in regards to what took place, just to sort of fill you in. So let me bring you kind of up to date, because right now the woman and her son are currently facing murder charges. Now, this is according to WTTW website. After this altercation took place in a fast food restaurant, and they're saying that, you know, she ordered her son to fire shots at a 32-year-old man. Now, there is a video up of the altercation where you can see some of what took place. So they have both been charged with murder. Currently, they're on a $3 million D bond. So, in short, Hood went inside while her son stayed in the vehicle. But once inside, she allegedly got into a verbal argument with the man whose name is Brown that was shot, whom she did not know prior to the incident. The altercation escalated and turned physical when Brown began punching Hood in the head at least 3 times. As that was happening, the 14-year-old entered the restaurant, pulled a handgun from his hoodie pocket, and allegedly shot Brown in the back. Brown fled the restaurant, but Hood yelled at his son to kill Brown as the teen pursued Brown and fired additional shots at him, according to McCord Rogers. Brown was struck twice, ultimately died of his injuries. He was identified through Cook County Medical Examiner's records and was one of more than a dozen people killed by gunfire across Chicago and violent crimes this weekend. Okay. So, here's the thing. Now, it also goes on to say, after the 14-year-old shot Brown, Hood allegedly told him to shoot a woman who had been inside the restaurant with them and had been laughing during the verbal altercation. Now, that woman is allegedly Brown's girlfriend. And McCord Rogers said Hood's son did not fire any more shots, and when Hood allegedly tried to pry the gun away from him, he pushed her away. Hood and her son then got back into their vehicle and drove home. And they eventually turned themselves in to the police. Now, as you hear this story, like I said, there's a video online, and in the video you can see him basically telling her to shut up, get your food. You saying one more thing, I'm gonna punch you in the face. I'm gonna punch you. And there were bystanders, and the recording actually came from a bystander. So here's the thing. Because a couple questions we have to bring up to this. Now, any loss is tragic. I don't condone violence. I don't condone shooting people. I mean, this is a situation in which, unfortunately, cooler heads did not prevail. Emotions prevail. Now, I cannot attest to the state of mind of Brown. From what I've seen in the video, he was very agitated. He was very angry. But at a certain point, if she came to pick up food, all it takes is, you know what? Even if you're mad at that woman, you don't like what she's saying, walk away. Walk away. And then the people inside the restaurant, I'm wondering, like, you know, you got people who sitting there, they're recording things like this. Why didn't someone try to get involved and maybe calm the situation down? Maybe they did. Maybe someone did. But I'm trying to figure out, why couldn't this situation have been prevented? Is there something that maybe the people in the restaurant could have done? Like, ma'am, your food is ready. 1 minute. Ma'am, just stop. We got your food. Sir, we got your food. Can you stand here? You stand here. Okay? If you guys keep it up, nobody's getting their food. You know, so this whole situation escalated. Emotions overtook both sides, based on my personal opinion. The mother was so upset. She had been hit. She had been beaten by this guy. She was punched 3 times. The son comes in. His emotions are up because he now sees his mother being punched by this guy. So naturally, he's going to go into defense mode. And having a gun, now I don't know what her text message, because allegedly she texted him and asked him to come inside the store, inside the restaurant. So I don't know what her text message said or what instructions were in the text message. But the thing about it is, all parties were wrong. I'll say that. You know, men, we know sometimes that women are very quick at the mouth. If they don't put their hands on you and they're just fussing and yelling, there's no need to resort to violence. There's no need to resort to violence. Step away. Step away. Sir, when is my food going to be ready? Can I get my food down here? Can you bring it to this door? And as for women, you know, sometimes it's best, don't argue. Like, a lot of times people are arguing over stuff that's really makes no sense. It's not going to impact your life in a way that it's going to stop you from going or doing whatever you're doing. So when you're in a restaurant, and I'm not quite sure what the argument was about, that's what I was really trying to find out. Like, what was the argument about? Like, what initiated the argument? Because you're in a restaurant, you don't know each other. Was it the fact that maybe she, you know, was like, hey, I'm in a hurry, I want my food? I mean, I'm trying to understand, like, what initiated the argument to make it escalate to the point to where one person wants to punch another person. You know, I don't understand that. You know, I don't understand what caused it, what made it escalate to that level. But then again, I'm trying to figure out, because here's my question for today's show. Here's my question. If you go into a space, and I know there's going to be mixed thoughts about this, and you see 2 people arguing, okay? You see 2 people arguing. My question is, do you try to intervene? Do you try to intervene? I mean, what is it that you do? Do you try to intervene? Because that's the real question. Like, I can understand the fear of someone maybe having a gun, but if you know that you can prevent an incident from escalating into a situation to where someone is going to lose their life, would you intervene? Or would you say, nope, it's too dangerous. You don't know what to expect from people these days. You know, I'm just going to mind my business. I'm just going to lead the establishment. I'm not getting involved. But what happens if you observe that situation and then you wake up the next day or later on the news, you come to find out that somebody died and you was there? I mean, what is your response to that? Do you even feel like, okay, you know what, man, I wish I could have did something. I should have said something. You know, what could have happened that you feel that would make you feel like I should have intervened? What could have happened? Because it's sad. It's sad when this turns into a situation like this, because this 14-year-old kid is now being charged with murder. This is going to affect so much of his life. There are situations where young people have been incarcerated and they went on to overcome the circumstances of being in the system. But there are plenty of young men who have been caught up in the system and have not been able to find their way back. Because the prison system, if this kid goes from juvenile and they decide that he's going to go from juvenile to prison, just imagine what his mindset is going to be. Because for some people, prison can turn them into something completely different. Now, I'm pretty sure that, for me, I would want to know the backstory on this situation. To me, there's still too many unanswered questions. Too many unanswered questions. And I just don't I can't really say he's a bad kid. That's what somebody's going to say. She's a bad parent. What led to this? There's got to be some more answers. There's got to be some more answers. All the stories I've seen have really just skipped over what the argument was about. But let's get back to helping out. Let's get back to this. You mean to tell me that before the son came in there with the gun, I'm curious, did anybody try to calm the situation down? Now, I'm pretty sure that some people were a little bit worried, especially when you see somebody who's making threats. You see somebody who's all jacked up, like they ready to fight. And you kind of feel like, I don't know if I can say something to this person. I don't know if I should get involved. Should you get involved? Because there is that unknown, that uncertainty of okay, what is this dude going to do? Because sometimes when a person is angry, we profile a person. We look at a person based on the way they dress, based on their skin tone. We say, you know what? This dude ain't about nothing. I'll get involved. Or sometimes we say, I don't know. They look like they're about that life. I mean, because anything could have happened. I mean, because just think if somebody could have possibly got both sides to just let the issue go, or just, hey, bruh, come on, bruh. Let me, bruh. It ain't even worth all that, man. Or even if somebody would have talked to the people working in the back, hey, this lady just wants her food. He's been here. Is there any way you can get either one of them their food so they can leave and go about their business? Is there any way? There are options, because sometimes it's not, even if you feel uncomfortable confronting the individual that's engaged in an argument, but is there something you can do to maybe the business owner, the cooks, the people working in the restaurant to sort of help resolve the issue? Could the people working in the back, hey, bro, come down here. We're going to have your food ready in a minute. Hey, step down here. We got you. I got you. Hey, sister, wait, right. Sister, come down here. Let me talk to you. I got you. Something to separate the two to prevent that from getting to the point that it did. Now, first off, I don't condone a man hitting a woman, but I don't condone women hitting men. So I don't condone violence. I understand defending yourself, protecting yourself. But I don't understand letting words get you to the point, especially if you don't know each other. You're sitting there and you're both ordering food and you're getting into an argument and you're not even friends. What, you feel like this person jumped you in line? I mean, like I said, I don't know what the initial issue was regarding the argument. But my concern is, are people too afraid to intervene? Are people too afraid to get involved when it comes to situations like this? Y'all share y'all thoughts, man. I want to introduce this topic because we are going to dive deeper into this discussion. Please think about the questions that I asked, and we're going to have a real conversation about this. All right, so this is the next topic coming up right here on the Simply Straight Talk.
Thanks for joining us on this episode of the Simply Straight Talk podcast. Remember that you can join our email list at simplystraighttalk.com for more fun solution-based conversations. From the Simply Straight Talk crew, stay positive and we'll see you next week.